Whap, bam, kazabazoo. We're talking NBA awards today here on the show because that's what we do. We talk about things and we try and embarrass people. We try and not get sued. We try and get other people sued. Who is the sue target today? Who are we trying to get sued? Chris, producer Chris, who is the main target we're trying to get litigation against? Not that we would be suing, to be clear. Someone else would sue them.
Probably Wemby.
Wemby. Yeah. Shouldn't be that tall. So, Grant, why don't you tell us who the obvious plaintiffs are in this case?
Plaintiffs? I don't care about plaintiffs. I want to sue Heather. It's just a person I know. It's just a person I know.
So you would be the plaintiff.
Yeah, she's just annoying. Yeah.
All right. So we're just going to throw out the whole premise, the whole opening premise immediately. Getting other people sued, that doesn't involve us. We're suing Heather. You're suing Heather. We're not even involved. Yeah. It's just a personal matter for you.
This is just something I've been thinking about.
What did Heather do?
Just annoying.
So she did something, though. So she did annoyance.
Just consistent annoyance.
What is there a particular thing she says? What does she say?
No, there's no she doesn't have a catchphrase where she's like, wham, bam, we're going to start the podcast now or something like that. She doesn't say
that's not really annoying. That's more interesting. Does she have a mannerism? Is it her face? What is it?
Kind of always being obnoxious is the mannerism at all times.
I got to tell you, Grant.
Obnoxious.
I would hope on this podcast that we would believe women, but you're making a compelling case.
Who says Heather's a woman?
Grant from Portland making moves over there. Who's getting sued now?
It might be a newt or some other sort of creature that crawls.
Wow. A newt. So you might be suing an animal.
It's a new America. You can sue anybody.
What would you be hoping to receive as compensation when you sue an animal? I'm just trying to understand.
I think they probably have some sort of glandular excretions that might be valuable in certain scientific communities.
Right.
I could get that and resell it to people who are studying how to make dick pills or something.
So you said Heather could be a newt. It does sound like Heather is at least amphibian of some sort. Right,
Heather's a person. I was just red herring you, herringing. Oh. I herringed you.
Do you still want glandular secretions?
I do not. What are we talking about today? Is it NBA awards?
NBA awards. All right, fine.
Yeah, we can stop with that. So we already had our MVP discussion. That's an entire episode. So we're not going to discuss that. We all want Jokic for MVP. That's
he's not going to win.
Case that these people will make on this podcast. We already talked about Sixth Man of the Year. Jonathan brought up a great point that it's a bullshit, stupid award, and Jones and I immediately agreed. So if you want to hear more about that, listen to our discussion of the NBA villains team because we shoehorned that in at the end. So today we're going to talk about different NBA awards, starting with which one? Christopher Jones.
I think let's start with the least competitive or least interesting one. I think there's one where there's just one runaway winner that maybe we have some thoughts of whether that's fair or not, but I doubt it. And that is Defensive Player of the Year. You can't even get a marketplace on this anymore because it's just it's so a foregone conclusion that Wemby is going to win it. Other people who were even close, even have less than 1% in the markets are Anthony Davis, Rudy Gobert, Chet Holmgren,
Derek White.
I think those are the only people who you maybe would consider, but Wemby has a more than 99% chance of winning the award.
It seems to me the real question here is not who will win or who should win, but how many years in a row is Wemby going to win this award?
Mm-hmm.
He's 23?
As many years as he can meet the game threshold. I think, is how many years he's going to win this award. But I think it brings up a bigger conversation about the award itself. And Wemby is such a singular defensive talent that it might not matter what the qualifications are. But the award almost always goes to a center or a big power forward who gets a lot of blocks because it's a lot harder to get steals than blocks, and the blocks show up on the stat sheet. And they also have a bigger defensive impact. It's very important to have that person on the floor. So do we want to reward actual impact with this award, or do we want to reward the maximum level of skill at what you're doing with this award, which is harder to quantify, obviously, than actual impact. But that's why centers, except for the 1 year Marcus Smart won it, and nobody really thought he should win it anyway. It's always centers, or like Jaren Jackson Jr., who's basically a center. So, like, should they separate the award into like 6'9" and over and 6'8" and under, or something like that, to make it so that you could actually have some smaller players win this award, like players who really are fucking great perimeter defenders, but they end up getting like, 1.8 steals a game and 0.8 blocks, but they're really locking down the best perimeter player.
Is that not what all defensive team is, essentially? A version of that?
Well, haven't they made it positionless now? Just like the All-NBA teams? So that
have they?
It should be. I thought so.
I don't know that they. Maybe they have. I don't know. I mean, I guess it makes sense in that there were essentially no positions left in the NBA. Like center a little bit, point guard a little bit, but even those sometimes are really thrown into the blender.
And I haven't thought this through, so I don't know if 6'9" is the right cutoff. But I'm wondering, should we separate the award into I don't want to use positional terms because of the positionless nature of basketball, but smaller players and bigger players, because it's just not fair to the smaller players who are truly elite defenders. Like, they just can't win the award.
What if it was like perimeter defender of the year and interior defender of the year? So it doesn't really matter how tall you are. It's more just about your role.
Well, what if, I guess, but that gets tricky because, like, what if there's a player, and I'm not saying, you guys will make fun of me for this player, but Matisse Thybulle, who gets incredible percentage of steals and blocks, is like a 6'5" player. He has very long arms, so that helps him with the steals and the blocks. But what if you're a perimeter player who gets 1.5 steals and 1.8 blocks? Does that count you as a perimeter player still? Like if you're 6'5", or does that make you an interior player because you get more blocks than steals?
I mean, I think it comes down to what the voters think, really. Like if they're like, oh, like Derek White every year leads the league in blocks for guards. Every year. For like 6 years running or something crazy like that. He's one of the all-time best at that. A lot of his blocks are on the interior, but he is known as one of the best perimeter defenders in the league, right? And he was going to make all NBA first team almost certainly. And because of that, not really because the blocks are like a little extra thing, but I think if we did best perimeter defender, I don't know that he would win, but he would certainly be in the top 3 and in the discussion of. So that seems fair. Like it seems like we're just supposed to like watch them play and decide, like, and not worry about what their stats say and like who's actually the best perimeter defender, who's actually the best interior defender. Done.
Yeah.
Like that seems very reasonable actually to separate that out the way you're talking about, because those are really different jobs, and to act like it's all a big catch-all is a little problematic. It's almost like what happens with the MVP award, where we just don't even include like 75% of the league they're not even in the pool of consideration because their teams aren't good enough, no matter how good they are, unless they put up an all-time great statistical season. And even then, as we see this year with Jokic, that isn't even enough probably. Like he's going to probably finish second, but still, like it's not enough, right? But he's at least considered. But if he was on a team that won 30 games, I guess you could make a case that maybe those assists and steals don't matter as much. I don't know.
I actually think we have to find a height threshold rather than calling it perimeter and interior. I'm thinking about it more.
Why?
Because there's hybrid players that get screwed in that. Like, prime LeBron as a defender, right? He's like doing both, but maybe not either at the best. But maybe he deserves the under 6'9" award anyway. Even though he's not.
Oh, that is a little different. I guess. I feel like, again, there is all the NBA defense first and second team to like catch some of these guys who are maybe falling through some of these loops a little bit. I think it'd be any of these are huge improvements, right? So maybe I don't know if we can figure out the very best thing right now on the fly. I like interior perimeter, but if you want to do it by height, I can't kill you for that. I might argue maybe Wemby's the best perimeter defender too with those long ass arms. I don't know.
I mean, that's why I said he was a singular defensive player.
Yeah.
And that he may not apply to this. But it's like, the NBA Defensive Player of the Year award is similar to the NFL MVP award at this point, where it's like it's always a quarterback in the NFL, and it's always a center in the NBA, except for
we're complaining
occasions.
We're complaining about the NBA MVP, but my God, the NFL MVP is so much more broken.
Oh yeah, it's definitely like NBA MVP is just like. Shea's a deserving winner. It's not the end of the world if he wins.
Right.
But like Aaron Donald never won NFL MVP. How many years was he the best player in the league? Right. Like It's a different thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good talk.
The all defensive team is positionless now as of 2024.
It is.
I just looked it up.
I believe, and I don't know what's going to happen, but I believe they're not going to put 5 centers on the all defensive team anyway, that they're going to put some perimeter guys on there too. We'll see what happens, but that's my guess.
Yeah.
I sure hope so.
They probably will.
Yeah.
All right. So we did that. Wemby's obviously the defensive player of the year. We don't have to argue that. Yeah.
Congrats to him.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to go?
Don't ask us. You're the producer.
I'm the
Produce.
Just produce. All right. Let's do.
Just ask her out, man.
Let's do one that is probably near and dear to Grant's heart, but I think he might lose in the actual take on this. But most improved player, I think there are 3 odds-on candidates left, and we can, if you have any others, we can talk about them. But it's Nickeil Alexander-Walker on the Hawks, it's Denny Avdia on the Blazers, and it's Jalen Duren on the Pistons.
I mean, Jalen Johnson has to be at least considered in this too, does he not?
I think he's been eliminated from contention. Like they've announced the finalists.
Oh, have they? Oh, okay. Is Denny Avdia one of the final 3?
Yeah, those are the final 3.
Okay,
but like, I'm surprised that it's not Jalen Johnson. Now I don't watch the Hawks, so I don't really know. Like, because Walker's on the Hawks too, right? So like, what are the year-over-year improvements for Walker that we're talking about here?
They're striking.
It's massive.
Okay.
I mean, he was averaging with the Wolves. He was averaging like 7.5 points a game, and now he's like a consistent. I think
it's like 21.5 or 22 a game.
Yeah, so it's a massive leap
on a team that's like playing well, and like once they got rid of Trae Young, they've been quite good. And he's not just doing that; like he's the other half of that Hawks sandwich.
What about CJ McCollum, baby? Don't forget CJ.
He's doing pretty good, actually. Yeah. Like they don't play Ricochet, the number 1 overall pick from 2 years ago. They don't play him at all
because he's bad.
He's bad, right? But they were like, we're trying. Like Quinn, is it Quinn Buckner, the coach? He's like, can't take it anymore, right? Quinn Snyder. Quinn Buckner was a player on the Indiana college basketball team and the Celtics in the 80s. Okay, Quinn Snyder though is like, I can't take it anymore. We have to try and win. Like I don't care. And like
we finally got rid of Trae. We finally got rid of Trae Young. I'm not playing this fucking kid anymore.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we got CJ McCollum. I don't care. You think he's a salary dump? Like he's actually a million times better than this guy, and indeed he is. Obviously, CJ still good. CJ's been good for forever, man. Like never dominant, but always good.
Yeah, always just like a really good offensive player.
Right. Terrible defensively, but
all right. So
don't ask him to do that.
We got Walker's numbers here.
Yeah, he's got 21 points a game, 3.5 assists, 3.5 rebounds, 1.3 steals because he's really good defensively. He's shooting really well, playing on a core team that's now risen to be a playoff team. So
and what was he averaging last year?
He averaged 9 points a game with the Wolves. And pretty marginal on everything else. I mean, he's gone from being like the 8th man in a rotation to a core starting player on a
even a little more than a core star. I would say like a not a star, but a fringe, like outside the conversation of potential stars at this point. Like if the Hawks win 50 games next year and he's averaging 22 points a game, people are going to start talking about his all-star. Should he be in the all-star game? He probably won't be, but it'll be start of the conversation, right? So. It's a hell of a league.
He's definitely putting up Andrew Wiggins all-star numbers, but that's a little different than normal all-star numbers.
Shedeur Sanders made the Pro Bowl, man. All right?
We're not talking NFL. Okay. So I think this will also end up ultimately a philosophy discussion because I think those are going to be the best absolute number changes. But there's obviously it's kind of like charging a battery. It gets more difficult the closer you get to 100%. So like the last 20% of the battery takes the longest to charge. So like he made the leap from 40% of the battery to 80% of the battery, but the other guys are making the leap from 80% higher. And so their absolute value differences will not be as big, but their roles and how important they are to their team might be significantly bigger. I don't know how to
But the award is most improved. It isn't most valuable of the guys who improved a lot, you know? So
Right, but
I feel like if we're doing most improved so far, like if he went from 40% to 80%, that's a 40% improvement, right? Like, and you're right. If you're already at 80% and you get to 95, that's maybe more important to your team because that's harder to find a guy like that. But that's only a 15% improvement, right? So like,
I mean, all right, I guess you could put
like
it
it matters.
in more non-number terms.
Okay.
Is it better to graduate from rotation player to good starter, or from good starter to fringe third team All-NBA?
I mean, is it better for who? Right? It's better for like
I don't know.
that's like
I don't know. I don't know what the answer.
What's the bigger leap? What's the bigger leap? Is the question.
Well,
I mean, part of it also goes back to
do, maybe which one is rarer. Which one is more rare? I think is maybe the best way to ask the question.
I don't know, man. I mean, I think the bigger question is really about like pedigree. Like, were you a first round pick or not? Were you a lottery pick or not? Like, because sometimes guys will be most improved players, but they were like the third overall pick and they like didn't play much their first 2 years, and now they're awesome, right?
I think these guys
were they?
Was
Was Nikolai Alexander Walker a lottery pick? I honestly don't know.
Yes.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he flamed out and bounced around, but he was a top pick for the Pelicans, I think.
I mean, there's something there. I mean, you could disagree that this is a qualifying criteria. That's fair. But I would say like flaming out and bouncing around, like nobody really wants you, versus Advia, who Portland traded 2 first-round picks and more for like 2 years ago when he wasn't even performing at awesome levels yet because they believed in him so much. I mean, that doesn't mean to say he hasn't improved awesomely. He is the best player of the guys we're going to be talking about, I think.
All right. I mean,
but I don't know if he's the most improved. I don't think he's the most improved.
Well, Denny Advia in an important. I'm not advocating for Advia. I'm just gonna. I know more about him, so I'll talk about him.
Sure.
Just as an anecdote, in the most important game of his career, the play-in game against the Suns, he put up 41, 12, and 7, which he could have not done last year. So that's kind of like a massive thing.
That is awesome, but the play-in games, it's only a regular season award. So, like, we're supposed to have voted before the play-in games even started.
So let's look at Advia's numbers last year to this year, Jones.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at
So
that. Okay, good.
He had 17 points a game last year, about 7 rebounds and 4 assists. And then this year he has become first-time All-Star. He's 24 points a game, still around that 7 rebounds a game, but his assists have gone up from 4 to 7 in addition to that scoring output.
And his
again,
3-point
first-time
percentage
All-Star.
his 3-point his efficiency is better, right?
Yeah, his effective field goal percent. Well, actually, it's gone down a little this year, but his, so it's gone down a little, but it's not. It's kind of marginal.
I would say his numbers are clear. I mean, clear improvement. Again, I think he's probably the best of all the players we're going to be talking about, but I think it's just not the same kind of like dramatic leap.
Reasonable. I mean, it is dramatic to go from a guy who's a pretty good starter to like this could be the face of the franchise. That's a dramatic leap.
It is. Agreed. It's a big. I mean, that's why he's in the discussion, right? He's in the final 3. It isn't like we're saying we should not be talking about this guy,
Right,
right?
of course.
He's right there.
Of course.
Well, can we do Jalen Duren though? We're sort of
yeah,
ignoring him, and that's unfair to Jalen.
We were always going to get to him. So
How dare you not even consider? Because he's in Detroit, Grant? Is that why?
I hate cars.
Yeah,
that's why.
You hate American cars. You hate Americans.
I love any car that comes from not America. I hate all cars that come from America. And if you make
That's
American
why
cars, I hate you.
That's why you like Denny Advia, right? Not American.
Yeah, I love Israeli cars. They're really good.
The Charger is an Israeli car, by the way, if you didn't know that. The Dodge Charger. All right, give us Jalen Duren.
Dodge Charger is an Israeli car. They make just the Charger in Israel. Everything else is a different Dodge. There's like the American Dodge company, and then there's an Israeli Dodge that just uses the same logo, and they make the Charger only. Is that what you're telling me?
It's the same car. It's the same car by the same people, but some of them know about. They've heard. They're involved. Israel's involved somehow. The Israel scientists. Jalen Duren, quick.
Oh, God. All right, Jalen Duren is also a first-time All-Star. He has gone from 11 points a game to now 19 and a half. Same number of rebounds, about 10, but still 10 rebounds a game, 1 block a game. None of his numbers have really gone up except his scoring.
Really?
But, he is also a pretty elite defensive player as well. So that's not going to be in these numbers as much.
Was he? I mean, do you know if he was considered that last year, or if he made a jump in that?
That part, I guess I don't know. I don't know when he started to be considered. But I mean, the Pistons have always been thought of as a pretty stout team, and he's the core of that rim protection for them.
How is his efficiency offensively?
He's got. I mean, his effective field goal percentage is 65%. So, fairly efficient shooting. He's a decent free throw shooter too. So he's somebody who's gonna. He's not a liability on offense for sure. In fact, he's a kind of a core part of their offense.
I mean, that's a big leap for him, because he was just sort of the guy who only got rebounds and garbage points, and now if he's getting 19 a game, that means he's actually a little bit more part of the actual offense. He's an actual pillar for them, and the fact that he's kept up his efficiency. By the way, similar to Denny Advia in this way, they take on much more of an offensive load and keep their efficiency, even if it's where it was. That's impressive for both those guys. It's hard for me, though, when you say this about Duren, that his points improved but nothing else improved, to think of him as
it feels like an MVP style
enough.
argument. Like the team improved by a lot, so he's getting put in.
I agree.
This.
I think that's right.
I agree. It's a big leap for him to be an offensive player. That's a big thing, and maybe he's good enough offensively that it's enough. But it feels like, boy, if we're talking about being a better offensive player, Nikolai Alexander-Walker is scoring 12 more points a game and doing other stuff better, and I don't know.
All right, just for shits and giggles, can we take a look at Jalen Johnson's numbers year over year?
Yeah.
Because he was a guy I thought was definitely going to be in contention for the award.
Me too.
I'm pulling it up right here. Jalen Johnson. Well, yeah. So it's actually not that. He is also a first-time All-Star. Went from 19 points a game to 22 and a half. Same number of 10 rebounds a game. His assists have gone up from 5 to 8. Everything else is pretty flat. So I can see why he's not. It's not really comparable.
He's similar to Denny, actually, in a bunch of ways. Denny had a bigger points improvement, but besides that, they kind of mirror each other. They have more assists, same amount of rebounds, right?
I mean, similar.
They both became the franchise.
And they're
guy
both
on the team.
point forwards. They play the same role. They're similar in lots of ways.
Yeah.
So I think it's between Advia and Walker. I don't really think Duren would be part of my consideration here. And I think it comes down to philosophy. I didn't do a great job of laying it out earlier, and I don't know if I could do a better job than I did. But I think it's a toss-up for me. If there was some mandate by the league that explained how you're supposed to assess this award, that would be helpful. Because if it's just pure improvement year over year, then it's Walker. But if it's rarity of the level of improvement, maybe Advia has the edge. I'm not sure.
That's fair. I'm just going with the name of it, most improved player. So I'm going by cumulative improvement. So I'm going Nikolai Alexander-Walker. You can't go wrong picking Denny Advia or any of those four guys, honestly. They're all had huge improvements. Their teams have really improved as a result of their improvements. So it isn't just a statistical improvement, but it actually seems to be contributing to winning. I think we can say that very clearly in actually all four of these cases, now that I think about it. That's really cool. And but I got to go Walker in the end. And it looks like he's going to win the award as well. Just looking at there's an MVP tracker that tracks all the voters, stuff like that. He's getting all the first place votes, so he is going to win it, whether it's just or not. But either way, Denny Advia is getting his flowers and is going to get a lot more. He's going to be
he'll be fine.
He's probably going to be making an All-NBA team this year, right? He's got a really good chance, I would think.
He's definitely on the fringe of third-team All-NBA, yeah.
Yeah, and with the 65 game rule, I would think he would get in.
Yeah.
He is really good. As you said, in the biggest game of the season for them, he put up 41 and did it all at the end and won the game at the very, very end. And it wasn't do or die, but it was close, and
he passes the eye test pretty well.
Sure. Yeah, he's the real deal. He's absolutely grown into at least, a star. Not a superstar. Maybe he has that gear still, but I mean, if he's the number 2 guy on your team is incredible, right? Your team is a championship contender almost all the time, like in most years. So if
Damian
good.
Lillard comes back in his 2018 Damian Lillard, then we got that. Yeah. So
Aren't you guys
that's
paying,
easy to do, right? Just turn the clock back 8 years on one guy. That's easy.
Didn't you guys sign Lillard to like a 2-year, like $60 million deal just for no reason at all? Basically, you're like, we just want to give away $60 million of our salary cap. Isn't that what happened?
I don't think we did that. No.
You did something like that. I know it was. This is year 1 of that deal, and he's just sitting on the bench because he can't play for the entire year.
We did not give him and I shouldn't say we because I'm not part of the organization.
Okay, you're not.
Damian Lillard contract. Let's take a look.
Yeah, let's see what it really is. Maybe it's not as bad as I said.
A 3-year, $42 million. So you're way off. Yeah.
I'm way off. However, my point still remains as a question, right? So you gave Lillard $42 million, which is what? 16? Less. It's less than 16.
Yeah.
It's 14. It's 14 a year. 14 a year to hopefully be really good in the next 2 years.
Seems totally fucking reasonable to me, honestly.
It's not insane. It's not insane.
Yeah.
If he's just a good bench player, it's at this point that's not crazy for that price.
You would be thrilled if he was the 20.6 man off the bench at those numbers, and I think he's definitely capable of doing that. So it's
okay. How old is he though? He's so old.
35 or something like that.
Oh, that's it. Okay, all right. But it's still a very weird contract that they signed him. It was very odd to be like, we're an up and coming team, and we're just going to freeze $14 million of our cap this year on a guy who's absolutely not going to play.
They don't need
and
the
is
cap.
Old.
The cap is not at risk. It's fine.
What about for trades and things?
We got off
having salary cap space is something you can trade. Like you're giving that away too. I'm just saying, it's not that there's no cost to this. There is a cost.
Of course, every signing you make, I don't hate it at $14 million a year. I don't.
It's not awful at 14. I thought it was worse. I thought it was 2 years at 30, and 3 years at 14 is a lot better. I'll grant you.
Yeah. That's not what the show's about. But you're always a hater, and you'll die a hater. So let's continue.
A hater of what?
Everything.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
Yeah. Player's going to play, hater's going to hate. They said it in the 90s. They were right. You are distinctly a hater. Deal with it. Let's continue.
So if we were to settle this, we would probably lean towards Nickeil Alexander-Walker. But maybe
let's vote right now. We got 3 votes.
My vote is I'm a complete coin flip, and Jonathan's on Walker. So I guess you can make your determination, Chris.
I mean, I have a soft spot for Nickeil, but I think he deserves it anyway.
Even though he's improved once he left your team, shouldn't that make you hate him with a passion?
I mean, he got his bag. We couldn't afford him. I'm cheering for him.
So you're a player, not a hater.
That's right.
Yeah, unlike our other friend here.
That makes you a player?
You're one or the other, and he's not a hater.
Oh,
so
you have
Logic
anytime
101.
anyone who isn't a player
Logic
is
101.
automatically a hater.
Logic 101.
All right. I didn't know that's how it worked. I appreciate you laying it out.
In the world of the 90s, where you're either a hater or a player, you have to be one or the other. There's no.
Well, when you say it that way, it's obvious when you lay it out like that. But you just said player's going to play, hater's going to hate. That doesn't mean there are no other categories of person. When you just say that,
Name
right? There could be other categories.
What's another 90s category of person? It has to be
Pimp?
era specific.
What about pimps?
That's like 70s. Come on.
Pimps in the back, hose in the front, and chumps in the trunk. Right? Isn't that what it is?
I don't. Why would the chump go in the trunk?
That's where they go. Chumps in the trunk.
Okay, good.
All right, let's do our last player award, and then we'll get to some coaches and GMs. Rookie of the year. This is really down to 2 possibilities. It's Cooper Flagg and Khan Knippel. Anyone else you want to make a case for, or should we just talk about those 2?
Come on.
Yeah.
Only
what an
those.
Incredible rookie of the year race, though.
Yeah.
Like, really impressive by both players. Yeah. I think you have to parse flat out numbers versus what Khan has done on a team that's actually trying to do something. Like, they're actually a successful team, and he's part of that. He's a big part of that. Now,
Agreed.
The Mavericks were always going to suck ass this year. It was just always going to happen. I mean, maybe if Anthony Davis didn't get hurt and subsequently traded to nowhere, which then maybe they could have done something. if Flag had this improvement and Davis stayed healthy, but was that ever really going to happen, that Davis stayed healthy? Was that ever in a million years going to happen? Probably not. So Flag put up big numbers. He's clearly very good. From what I can tell, he's a better defensive prospect than Knipple as well, although Knipple is not a slouch on defense. So, like, Flag clearly has the higher ceiling as a player overall, but that's not the question. The question is who had the better year as a rookie, and Flag's absolute numbers are better, but Knipple had incredible three-point shooting and efficiency on super high volume, broke records in that category, and played an important role on a team that is in the playoffs. So, I don't know, how do we... or was going to be in the playoffs. They almost made the playoffs.
Oh, yeah, that's true. They just made the play-in. That's right.
Yeah. Postseason.
I mean,
they played the postseason.
Yeah, barely, but they did. I feel like, first of all, you said Dallas was always going to be bad. I think we're all shocked that we aren't saying Charlotte was always going to be bad, right? Charlotte won like 21 games last year and didn't really change their team except for adding Khan, who no one thought was going to make them a 44-win team or whatever.
I agree. That wasn't
right?
supposed to be as a counter to the Hornets. I was just saying.
Oh, no. I don't mean it that way. I'm just saying, like, so they both were joining these teams that had low expectations, and Khan... Now, he has a lot of teammates that are good, too, to be fair, but that team came together, and Dallas really didn't. That, for me, is not the big disqualifying factor. For me, it's more that Khan was ahead with like 2 weeks to go pretty clearly, and then it was clear the Dallas Mavericks decided Cooper Flag should win the Rookie of the Year award. So they were like, let's just let him shoot every time. They got him 54 like in one game and like 45 in the next. And to me, that is like rigging it, and so... That's not really basketball. Like, Khan's doing his numbers in an actual system to try and win the game, while the Dallas Mavericks are like, we're going to lose by 30, but Cooper's going to have big numbers. This is only at the end of the season. That hurts Cooper's case for me. And so I want to vote for 2K more than I want to vote for Cooper.
I don't actually have a dog in this fight, but you brought up some fire in me because I want to ask you. You put Khan Knipple on the Mavericks, and the Mavericks want to make him the Rookie of the Year. Does he put up those numbers? Is he capable of doing that? When they say, go ahead, you shoot it, you do it.
I don't know. I couldn't say that. If we put Cooper Flag on the Hornets, God, they'd be really good. If you put Cooper Flag on the Hornets, though, what would his numbers be with a bunch of other guys who also shoot the ball? He would score a lot less, you know? I don't know.
Perhaps,
but they would love to. They would trade 2K in a second for Cooper. Everyone would. It's not about that. But we're not talking about who's better, right? We're just talking about who had the better year.
Yeah.
I feel like Khan had the better year, ultimately. Like, he had some cool things, too. He made the most three-pointers of anyone in the league. No rookie's ever done that. No one his age has ever done that. It doesn't really matter, but it's just kind of cool. And it's like a neat extra little thing about sort of like how big a deal he is and how important he is to that team.
He's obviously one of the more valuable assets in the league right now. That's impressive because that's not what anybody would have expected going on. I mean, 4th overall pick, sure, that's pretty good. You're usually expected to be pretty good, but he's obviously surpassed expectations and would be Rookie of the Year hands down most years. Jones, give us some numbers on these guys. Let's get some actual numbers.
So Khan Knipple, 18.5 points a game, 3.5 assists, 5 rebounds, shooting 42.5% from three, an effective field goal percentage of 60%. And then Cooper Flag is 21 points a game, with a block and a steal, 4.5 assists, 6.5 rebounds, shooting 30% from three, effective field goal about 49%.
So Cooper's doing more stuff like in stocks and things like that.
He's a better defender.
He's getting rebounds. He's assisting more. He's more of the focal point of the team for sure, and kind of is way more efficient, right? Yep. So I'm surprised the scoring averages are as close as they are.
These are two incredible rookie years. Just really, really
they
good.
Are. No, these guys are both going to be quite good. But like you said, Cooper's got a chance to be in the MVP discussion down the road, and Khan is hoping one day to be third team All NBA. It feels like, right?
I don't know.
Probably
not.
I
feel like it's not unreasonable to say that Khan is in the Steph Curry archetype of players, and could someday surprise everybody like Steph Curry did and be in the MVP discussion.
I mean, I guess anything's possible. We didn't see Steph Curry coming until it fucking happened, right?
Yeah.
And so, fair enough. Guys do blow up. And
high volume and 42.5% from three, that's rare, especially
outrageous.
For a rookie. Yeah.
Outrageous.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't think. I think people often underestimate ceilings. They don't really mean ceiling when they're talking about ceilings. They mean like 90th percentile outcome. Like Khan's ceiling is Steph Curry. It is. Like
Well, I mean, Steph Curry's got a lot of other things going on than just the three-point shot, right? He's like an unbelievable ball handler. He's a crazy good passer. A crazy good passer for 17 years running. Khan is not that, right?
Khan is actually quite good at a lot of the stuff. I mean,
it's not the same.
Overshadowed by his shooting, just like Curry's was initially when he first got in the league. Again, Khan is a one-year player at Duke and is now playing his first year in the NBA. I think it's ridiculous to say that a player who puts up the numbers that he did could not potentially, at his most high ceiling outcome, be a Steph Curry type player.
Okay, fine. You got me. And there's a 1% chance or less.
Isn't that what ceiling means?
Blow up that way.
Is that not what ceiling means?
I think when we say ceiling, we're talking about it with a certain amount of outcomes out. What's the fuck? I can't think. Outlier.
So you're talking about like a ceiling that's made of fog, and you're talking about like where the fog starts, and then there's still
everyone who comes in the
fog,
NBA has as the best player of all time ceiling, though. If you're doing that, essentially, right? Pretty much everybody.
Not really.
Then.
No.
So what are we talking about then?
Does Delano Banton?
I don't know. Nikola Jokic was the 42nd overall pick. He hit the actual like 0.01% thing, and he's maybe going to be a top 10 player of all time, right? Coming into like the day he was drafted, we would be joking about what his ceiling is. And even his 0.01%, we'd be joking would be like starter in the league, I guess. Like maybe he makes some all-star teams, right?
I think we have different definitions of ceiling. Your definition of ceiling is 90th percentile outcome. Mine is 99th percentile outcome. That's basically what it is.
I'm trying to do most realistic, like high-end outcome. You're right. Like so, as opposed to like the 1 in a million high-end outcome. That's true.
I think we should change the word then, because ceiling is very deceptive if you're talking 90th percentile outcome.
Well, what if we did 95%? Does that help? Does that change anything for you?
Still deceptive, right? Ceiling means top.
Everyone else knows what that means, Grant. Everyone in the world knows what that means except for you.
I know. I think
no one walks around saying. Fucking
no, I think it's a not well-defined thing when we're talking about sports potential. Like it's an ill-defined word that people either misuse or use differently in different cases. And so like I use it the way that I think it should be used. You use it the way that you think it should be used. I think maybe we need a different word. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, that's fine. What I'm saying is everyone in the world except for you uses it the way I use it. I think so.
That's what somebody
get
who
on
uses
board,
it
buddy.
The way that you use it would say. Is it not?
I said everyone in the world uses it the same way except for you, right? So if I'm right about that,
because you think that, but where are you getting that?
Well, no. I think lots of things that I know other people don't agree with. What are you talking about? I'm saying this is something everyone else talks when they say ceiling, they mean it the way I mean it. They're not talking about the 0.01% outcome. Look at all the ceilings and all the draft write-ups of every player ever. For the top end guys like Cooper Flagg, they'll say like, Hall of Fame, blah, but they don't say that for everyone. They don't say this guy could be a Hall of Famer. Almost none of them do they say that about, right? Because they're not trying to capture the 0.01% outcome. They're trying to capture what's like a more realistic ceiling that you could actually build around if everything goes right for this guy.
So like near ceiling.
Man, semantics in you guys. Spend a lot of time fighting.
This word bothers me in sports. It's incorrectly used if that's how it's used. That's not right.
Okay, that's fair. You can not like that. Don't come at me, buddy. Come at the world.
All right, we got to pick.
Come at Adam Schefter.
We got to pick rookie of the year. I'm going Cooper. I'm going to go
2K, but I have to say, I thought it was a bigger gulf than as we've talked about it. I almost picked Cooper. Like, I'm really close on it. I have no problem with Cooper Flagg being the rookie of the year.
Speaking of a Jonathan Levy type ceiling, I feel like a Jonathan Levy defined ceiling of Cooper Flagg is 39-9. Like with
39-9. Oh, 30 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists.
Yeah.
These days, the way people are putting up numbers, I would actually go a little higher than that. Like Luka and and stuff like that. I think it actually could be a little higher, but not. It's close. That's pretty close. Yeah, that's right. The Grant Dennison ceiling is, I guess, 40, 15, and 15.
No, because that's not actually realistic. It has to be realistic. Like,
okay, what's the Grant Dennison
the 99th
ceiling?
percentile outcome for Cooper Flagg in his best year would be something like 34, 11, and 9 with great defense.
I feel like that's not that far away from what I would call his ceiling also.
Well, then I guess you have a higher opinion of him than I do.
Maybe.
I don't think
Maybe.
So
I
what's
think
your
there's a world.
percentile outcome on him then? His best year.
I mean, when I think about what's when you say 99 though, that's what I mean. When you're talking about like Con Knippel could be Steph Curry, that's not 99%. That's 99.9 something
I think
percent.
that's around 99%.
It's much higher than that. It's not 1 in 100 that Con Knippel is going to be fucking Steph Curry.
We need to
dude.
stop this discussion because
All right.
you're too wrong about it. So let's.
Let Chris, quickly weigh in both on the discussion and your Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, we need
All right.
both.
I'm picking Cooper Flag. Simply, I just think they're both really impressive years. I think in any other year they'd be runaway winners, but I think Cooper deserves it. And I'm going to offer maybe we need to have a ceiling and an attic. How about that? What do you think about the attic?
The attic is like the best possible outcome.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. That's
like
interesting. That's like a way to.
Con Knippel's
That's a way to
attic
sort of
is
handle
Steph
it.
Curry. His ceiling
Okay.
is Ray Allen, and his attic is Steph Curry. How about
Yes.
that?
Awesome.
Yes.
I understand that. That works for me. Chris solved everything. The producer did something right.
Let's
He
go.
solved one thing ever. That's great.
And let's see. That would make Cooper Flag's ceiling Kawhi Leonard and attic LeBron James.
I don't think that's right. Kawhi Leonard was the best defensive player in the league for many years. Like, there's no way Cooper Flag's going to be that
looks
good
like
defensively.
a great defensive player. So I don't know. So who would be a better
That feels
example?
like
Because
too
his ceiling is definitely higher than Paul George. That's the other guy I thought of. It's definitely higher than Paul George.
I mean, ceiling? Oh, sorry, attic or ceiling? I've got
Attic
confused.
is LeBron James, obviously.
Attic is LeBron, right? Everyone's attic is LeBron.
No, Cooper isn't the archetype to have his attic be LeBron.
I know. Yeah, for that type of player. So his ceiling is like Kevin Love with defense, something
Love?
like that. He's
What
a little
the
too
fuck are
good.
you Kevin Love can run he runs like a 6'4" 40. What are you talking
I'm
about?
trying.
Cooper
I'm
Flag
just
is
trying to think of.
athletic.
I'm trying to come up. It's hard to come up with someone. I can't really think of a guy who's
peak
all
Paul
the
George
things.
is better than peak Kevin Love if you're going to try to use somebody like maybe Paul George, because he did finish like fourth in MVP voting one year, but that doesn't
Third.
feel high enough for the ceiling for Flag.
Yeah, no, Flag can win MVPs, like for sure. Like, that's
in the
right
attic
there,
he
right?
of course does. He's LeBron
In this on his ceiling, he can win MVPs. I think.
Yeah,
not
so
even
it's
in
not.
his
That's
attic.
why I came up with Kawhi. It felt reasonable.
Yeah, I just think Kawhi's defense is too good. I think Kawhi is a defensive first player in his best years, and I just don't think Cooper's ever going to be that. That's all. But anyway, let's stop arguing about this. Remember, we were going to stop arguing about this and talk about something else.
Then it got fun again. So
Did it?
I liked arguing about it.
Oh,
again.
you came up with a different angle where you weren't getting pounded into submission.
All right. Is
that
it
what we wanna
Scotty?
say?
Is it Scottie Pippen? Ceiling Scottie Pippen?
That's interesting. That's interesting. Maybe Scottie Pippen's pretty good. He's going to be better at the ancillary stuff than Scottie Pippen. Like, he's going to have more rebounds, more assists probably. He's going to be a little worse defensively, but maybe that's somewhere around there.
I like that a lot. All right, well, let's shift into the non-players, the more exciting ends of the conversation. Let's talk Coach of the Year and GM of the Year. We'll get to these pretty quickly. There are really only two candidates that people are talking about for Coach of the Year, and that is Joe Mazzulla and JB Bickerstaff. Do you want to make the case for anyone else, or should we just talk about those two?
I'd like to make the case for another person.
All right.
Okay.
I think Charles Lee of the Charlotte Hornets has to be included in this discussion at least. The Charlotte Hornets came out of fucking nowhere. They were bad. Like, I think they were like 4-14 to start the season. They were the best team in the East for a solid 2 months, like from January on, maybe longer, maybe 3 months. I don't have all the numbers in front of me. They did not even make the playoffs ultimately because they lost the second game of the play-in. I don't know how that happened. They got blown out by Orlando. That's not good. But he took a team that no one thought anyone would be afraid of, to the point where I was saying, I assumed Charlotte was going to beat Orlando. And then I was like, there's worlds where they beat Detroit in the first round. Like, that is not crazy. And they could be the best team in the East. They might just be the best team in the East, is what I was thinking. It's hard to say that now after they lost by like 35 to Orlando.
Yeah. Maybe in 2 years. Maybe in 2 years they'll be the best team.
Maybe in 1 year. I don't know. But I think he at least deserves talk, because this team came out of fucking nowhere, man. Like, I'm so impressed. I'm so impressed with this team and what he's done with them.
That's fair. That's fair. I think it has to be Missoula. I like the Celtics lost an All NBA first team player, and everybody thought it was going to be a gap year. And Jaylen Brown, while putting up good counting numbers, as Jonathan pointed out, actually has bad on-off numbers and could be argued did not actually ascend to becoming a superstar, but put up superstar numbers. But the team schemes and Missoula's ability to use his players correctly led a bunch of no-names to become important pieces on what is now a contender that Tatum's back. I think that's really impressive. With Bickerstaff, I think it was more a function of, I'm not saying that Bickerstaff did nothing, but there's also, Bickerstaff has a longer history of coaching. Missoula's only been the Celtics coach for a little while and has been impressive the entire time. It's could be argued that Bickerstaff has never done something like this before, and he just had the perfect storm of all of his players improving at the right. It's like if you do NBA 2K franchise mode, it's all green in the offseason when it's like the player improvement. It's like, whoa, Cunningham went up 8? Fuck, that's awesome. Oh, Duren went up 6? Shit, this team's going to be good now. Like, it feels kind of like the players all just came together at the right time, and maybe that's not fair, but it feels like Missoula had more of a hand in the success than Bickerstaff did.
I think also Detroit, to some degree Boston, but Detroit more so, were also beneficiaries of an extremely weakened Eastern Conference,
Well,
right?
yeah.
Like most year, if everyone was healthy this year, like the normal guys were healthy, like Halliburton was playing this year. If Embiid was reasonably healthy instead of he played like 30 games, like it'd be much harder for Detroit to be the 60-win team, right? Now, it'd be hard for the Celtics to win 56 games or whatever they won too, in fairness, but I think Detroit could be like they could have lost a bunch more pretty quickly and easily. Also, the tanking nature of the league right now creates these inflated records a little bit differently, where like you just play teams that are a third of the league is trying to lose all the time now, and so you just get those. Those are like automatic wins for your team.
That doesn't have anything to do with Coach of the Year, right? Because every coach is dealing with that.
Every coach is dealing with that, but if the schedule works out in your favor, that helps. Right? So if you catch the tanking teams in the second half of the year, that helps. I have no idea if that has helped Detroit or hurt Detroit. As
All right, great. That's what I thought. That's what I'm getting at.
I'm realizing that now. I feel like, though, that, Detroit, I feel like Bickerstaff hasn't done as much. Now, we are saying this the day after Orlando beat Detroit in the first game of the playoffs and Boston blew out Philly, and I wonder if there's a little bit of that recency bias, a little bit, because I'm a little less impressed with Detroit than I expected to be right now. I mean, I think Orlando's like such a bad team, and somehow they beat Detroit comfortably in game 1 in Detroit. I don't know how that happened. And I'm like, what the fuck, JB Bickerstaff, is like my first thought, And so it's not really fair to him or them, but I don't see how it isn't Missoula either. Like you said, they didn't just lose Tatum. They lost Tatum, Drew Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis, Al Horford, and Luke Cornett. They lost all three of their best centers, their starting point guard, and their All-NBA first teamer. And they still are the second best team in the East. And now with Tatum back, people think, and it seems reasonable, that they're the best team in the East. Like, that's wild. And he developed everyone. They go 9 or 10 deep regularly and have no problem doing it with guys, like you said, most people have never heard of. Baylor Shireman, Hugo Gonzalez. These guys are important contributors. Jordan Walsh plays for them. Like, it's bizarre, but it works. Luka Garza is pretty good.
Yeah, I'm on the Missoula train on this. As much as it pains me to give the Boston Celtics anything in front of Jonathan, I think it's Missoula.
It's hard not to give it to Missoula. Chris, where are you?
Yeah, okay. I agree. I think it's not even a question for me. Like, he's Coach of the Year for sure. All right, well, let's talk about Executive of the Year, because I think this one also falls into that weird category that we were talking about with MVP, where it's like the best teams usually just get consideration for this. Yeah. So right now, the front runners are basically the top 2 seeds in both conferences. It's Sam Presti at OKC, Brad Stevens in Boston, Trajan Langton in Detroit, and Brian Wright in San Antonio. So I'm wondering if we want to, based on your Charlotte conversation, do you think Jeff Peterson in Charlotte deserves some consideration? Do you think anyone else deserves consideration? Or is it just these top seeds?
I'd like to add one other name. I don't know the man's name. I don't know who's running the Phoenix Suns right now, but the Phoenix Suns went from awful and dead in the water to being a playoff team. And, they traded Kevin Durant, got stuff back, and made it work. And I think part of that is the building of the team. It's weird with guys like OKC and Boston, where you have Brad Stevens and Sam Presti, who've been doing this for years and building these teams and these rosters out for years, to give them sudden credit for it now, unless they make a big move or something like that. I mean, you could say Stevens, I guess, because he got rid of a bunch of guys and it still worked. But I don't know. We just gave Joe Mazzulla credit for that. Are we giving? I mean, I don't know.
It's a weird argument because you have to figure out the criteria. Are we talking about the culmination of all of their work has manifested this year as being successful, or are we talking about the things they did in the last year? Because I think that's a different thing, right? Because like Presti obviously has crushed it for year after year after year, and that's why OKC is a potential dynasty. Did he do anything special this year? Versus whoever the GM of the Nuggets was, flip Michael Porter Jr. for meaningful pieces, and the Nuggets are a much deeper, better team now. I think that's a more impactful year-over-year change based on a move that was made within the year. Right? So.
I think it should be Executive of the Year. Like, we shouldn't give out Oscars for lifetime achievement, except the Lifetime Achievement Oscar. Like, it shouldn't be this person's turn. It should be who gave the best performance this year. That's what I like anyway. So I think it should be like what you're saying.
The Nuggets guy. I don't know his name.
Great.
Yeah. So
they keep changing. They
Yeah.
all keep changing.
Brian Gregory is the Phoenix one, and I'm just looking up the Nuggets.
Like what were the impactful big moves that were made this year that made teams better, that weren't just players improving year over year?
I mean, the Hawks traded Trae Young, got back C.J. McCollum, got Alexander Walker, and that team. It took a little while, but they did come together really well ultimately.
That's pretty good.
So that feels like a good GMing, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if Charlotte really did anything from a GM point of view besides draft 2K and get it out of Charles Lee's way. So
yeah, I mean, drafting Knipple was totally normal at 4-2. It wasn't like a special move, right? So
correct.
I don't know if that one gets any credit because they didn't make any big trades or anything.
Yeah.
They decided to ignore the morality of employing Miles Bridges. Maybe that was a positive as far as winning.
He's a hell of a contributor to the team. I will say that he is pretty good. But yeah. They did decide that.
Are there any other teams that made big moves besides that ended up with more success besides Suns, Nuggets?
There's one other one that stands out to me, and I don't know if we could ever give it to this team based on all the other stuff around it, but it's the LA Clippers. So they traded James Harden for an injured Darius Garland when they didn't have their own first-round pick, and they started like 4-17 or something like that, and dug all the way out of the hole to get themselves into the play-in, and I think even a winning record.
Before the trade, they had already turned it around.
That's right. But then they gave up Garland for a guy who was injured and hadn't played for like 2 months, and still it worked. And then when he came back, by the way, has now been really good. And it's like, I'm already like, what are the Cavs? I know the Cavs are trying to keep Donovan Mitchell here, so they feel like they have to win right now because he's eligible for an extension, and so it's either sign the extension or trade him out at the end of the season, basically. But like, Garland is 10 years younger. He's 26, and he's putting up like 30 and 8 pretty regularly for the Clippers. Like, he's going to be their point guard for a very long time. And James Harden was probably not going to be on the Clippers next year for anyway, and probably for nothing. Like, so for them to flip him into Garland is such an unbelievable move by Lawrence Frank. It's hard not to give him some credit for that. But again, with all the aspiration stuff around Kawhi, I don't know how we could reasonably
that was
say,
part of it.
Yeah. Kind of have to deduct a few points for that one.
I'm going with I forgot his name already. I'm going with the Nuggets guy. That the move to get off Michael Porter Jr., who was supposed to be a franchise cornerstone, even though he had a bad year last year. A lot of teams are going to stick with that guy, but flipped him into 3 meaningful pieces. And Denver's problem last year was depth, and now they have more depth surrounding Jokic, and it gives them a much more legitimate chance than they had last year to win the championship. So I like that.
I like that. I'm going to go with the Hawks. I don't know who that is either.
Too.
Yeah, like they traded for Porzingis, then they shipped him out at the All-Star break because it wasn't working. They got off Trae Young, and not only did they not miss a beat, they got better getting off of Trae Young, which is what you would hope would happen, but they knew they had the pieces. They decided midstream to like, all right, Jalen Johnson's our guy. He's the actual face of the franchise, and they just did it, and that was clearly the right move. And I'm going Hawks.
Jones?
I am going, I know it's kind of chalky, but I'm going with Brian Wright in San Antonio. I think, like, as much as it's sort of like, yeah, he drafted Wemby, like good for him, but I feel like they have done more than that. They've built a team around Wemby that makes a lot of sense, that's going to thrive with his growth as a player. They've drafted really well. They've traded really well to acquire assets. They signed Luke Cornett from Boston as a nice backup piece for when Wemby's not on the floor or hurt. And they're just a really solid team now that's, maybe capable of winning a championship. And that, I think, deserves a lot of credit.
One thing, I know the jury's not completely out on this yet, but drafting Dylan Harper over Edgecombe and Knipple is not like an ideal thing to do. It's of those three, he has the lowest current ceiling. And
but what's
that
his
is what's
attic?
happened.
That's the thing I
what is his attic?
I will say the
Harper.
one question I have for the Spurs is not that. It's more De'Aaron Fox. So they traded a bunch of stuff to get him. They signed him to a huge deal. I'm wondering if that's going to actually be it helps them to contend sooner. Like, they wouldn't be this good right now without him. And so that's pretty great. And maybe it's all worth it just for that. But I worry that it's going to make the mid part of Wemby's window weaker than it otherwise would be by giving up those future assets. The fact that they could win the title this year, though, maybe makes it good enough. Maybe that's enough to have given up, to taking the risk that they're taking on. If they were like a 50-win team, it would feel a lot more questionable. But they absolutely can win this year. And then if they can win this year, that means they can absolutely win the next several years, right? Like, they're just in play now to win the title every year, it feels like, until something changes. Wemby gets hurt is the big one. They lose a bunch of their guys because they have to pay everyone. Maybe that's it. I don't know. But I worry that Fox accelerates that process. But I guess if we're in title contention, I'm saying it's the problem I have with them, but as I talk it out, maybe it was the right move. It was probably the right move. They could win the title right now. How could it be a wrong move? Yeah. All right.
Can you imagine Knipple on that team, though?
Oh, my God.
He'd make a lot of threes. He'd have a lot of open threes, man.
So I'm
Holy
saying
shit.
That's a bit of a black mark. I'm not saying that, like, Dylan Harper was consensus number 2, but if we're talking GM of the year, it's something.
I think it's a little unfair, though, to make your determination about what Dylan Harper's going to be right now, calling it a black mark. It's just too early, man.
No, I agree.
Let's find out 3 years from now.
We're operating with the information that we currently have. We're voting right now for this year.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. You're right. Knipple right now would be delivering things for them. And that means they could then trade one of their other guys or just be that much deeper as opposed to Dylan Harper. That's fair. But in their minds, they probably weren't drafting to be good this year. They were hoping to probably win like 50 games, not 58,
Well,
and
the Hornets weren't drafting to be good this year either.
That's true. That's true.
I will say, I don't think it's ridiculous to say that Dylan Harper can still be a better player than Knipple.
Oh, no, not at all. It's not.
Course of his career.
Certainly he can. But if you're going to chart the current outcomes based on everything that we know, he's likely to be third of 3 out of Edgecombe, Knipple, and him.
Probably, yeah.
It's just, I understand we're deciding right now, but it's just so early in this stuff in their careers to like make determinations about where they're going to be. It's just so hard to say.
Well, that's why this award is kind of dumb if we're just talking about this 1 year.
It
is.
I'm
using the criteria that we talked about. So
has Sam Presti ever actually won this award? He should have been winning it back when OKC was terrible, right? And they were just getting first-round picks left and right. He made the Paul George trade, which has been everything for them, basically. Yeah. That's where it all started. But he was making great moves before the Paul George trade as well, of course. He's the guy who traded who's the big, tall dude who went to Orlando, and they got Sabonis, and they also got Oladipo for. It was like he traded basically like a center. He traded like an okay center to Orlando and got 2 guys who blossomed into all-stars, basically.
I don't remember who it was.
Yeah, that's kind of the point. Like I can picture him. It's not Avant, but whatever. He's a pretty good player. He was on Toronto before. I don't remember his name. He's a long dude. They're all long. They're all
okay,
yeah.
Great.
Sam Presti won it last year.
Oh, so like you're saying, like once they're good is
the best team.
You get your flowers. That's ridiculous. Like that's when he did the least.
Brad Stevens won it the previous year.
The team that won the championship?
Yeah.
Cool.
They vote before they know who wins, but these are still the best teams in the league at the time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a dumb award.
It's a weird award to do it by year instead of. I mean, they just have to have like executive of the decade. That's a much more interesting award, right?
Or they could just do it instead, say best executive move of the year. How about that?
Oh. That's cool. Now, they probably don't want to do that because that means you're probably going to be putting down some players. Like, trading Trae Young, best move of the year. And Trae's like, motherfucker, I hate everyone.
Aren't you putting down players by not putting them on all NBA teams anyway?
It's not really the same as saying, like, the best thing ever is to get rid of that guy, you know? And now, obviously, the media says this anyway, so it doesn't, but, making an award about it feels, like, pretty harsh. The NBA themselves is like, boy, we're giving you hardware because you got rid of Trae Young or Anthony Davis or whatever it is, you know? Like, yeah. I mean, if I was Anthony Davis and they were like, best move of the year, trading Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis, congratulations, Lakers. You know, that would feel like pretty harsh.
Use your $60 million a year to wipe your tears. It'll be fine.
But it still would be pretty harsh. You know, like these people still feel just because they make money. It doesn't mean they don't have feelings. They're allowed to, they would feel bad. Don't you think?
They would feel bad.
Yeah. I mean, he still hears it every day, I'm sure, anyway, is the thing, right? Because, my God. Can we just take 2 seconds that Dallas traded Luka Doncic? The GM came out and said, we're trying to win in the next 2 or 3 years. They were immediately like the worst team in the league. And they fired him and traded Anthony Davis less than a year later after that. Yeah. Like, how crazy that is?
It's crazy.
Now fucking LA has another centerpiece for the next, 10, 12 years. Like they always seem to have. They just always get guys for free. It's the only team in the league that gets guys for free every 10 to 12 years. Mm-hmm. I don't know how they do it, but always the Lakers get a free guy. It's so unfair.
They've got the brand, baby.
Yeah. I guess. I don't know. It's just a stupid move by Nico Collins, really, right? Nico Collins?
No shit.
No. Nico
Harrison.
Yeah, that's right. Harrison.
Yeah, Nico Collins was
is a
It's like
player?
a linebacker or something, right?
Buffalo Bills, right? I don't know.
It struck a chord with me. I agreed with you. Anyway, we've done it. We've claimed our awards. It's over.
Thank God.
I got a chip away at the work. I got a bigger play to rehearse. I gotta live today like I'm in the race. Show the world I know my own worth. Heavyweight to burden, I persevere. Been persevering since birth. Fight for what we deserve until we reunite Mother Earth. We're rewriting the rule book, rewiring our brains. Deep dive in the framework, yeah, we can be the change. Future's ours to claim if we grab it by the reins. Break the chain, we're gonna make it rain. We